Good morning, mob family. How is everyone doing today? We are live. Today is Friday the 9th, and wishing you all a good morning. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Carolyn. Hello, Diana. Hello, Craig the Dragon. Good morning. Hope you're all well today. I've had my death wish and I'm ready to go. Started on Sheepdog and editing MNS9. Craig, we'd have to make a new banner just for the villains of Monty and Strong. Yes. Hello, Darren. Good morning. So I'll wait for all of you to come in. If you have any questions about the current book, feel free to ask. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I won't be able to. That's simple. I don't want to give it away. A lot of spoilers. Yes, the villain's banner would be excellent. Good morning, Wanda. Good morning, Malcolm. Good morning, Chris. Welcome. I'm just checking the other machine because sometimes the texts don't come through on this machine. So I'm checking the other one. The shredders are doing an amazing job. I can tell you how many notes I have currently. Let's see how many I have right now. I'm currently at 900 notes. So I'm whittling down. It was a little more than that. So yeah. Did you win? Yeah, Craig, you won. Whatever it was, you won. There you go. Always, Darren. Always. No, we can't give away any spoilers, Malcolm, because people have a tendency to get upset with spoilers. I know I don't like spoilers. So, yes, Cynthia, it gets really itching when it's growing in. And I did it in phases. I did the sides, and I left the goatee, and then after a while, I said, you know what? Let's just get rid of it all. But I'll let it grow in for the winter. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Terry. Morning, Mark, or actually afternoon, Mark. For those of you who are in different time zones, my good morning applies to your afternoon and evening. So, yeah. Oh, chapter 34. All right, so let me give you a little bit of the history of chapter 34. When I collaborated Dragon's Plight, if I'm not mistaken. Dragon's Plight, I think it was Dragon's Plight or Dragon's Torment. I think it was Dragon's Torment. I'm pretty sure it's Torment, yeah. I'm writing those books with John Logson. So chapter 34 in that book became interesting. If you ever read Dragon's Torment, I don't want to give it away. But Dragon's Torment is we couldn't get through reading it. It was just so funny. And so we didn't do it in Dragon's Plight. And so I'm writing Monty Strong 9, which is Reaping Wind. And there's a moment where Simon isn't really himself because of something that happened. Those of you in the art know. And so he starts reacting in a way that's not his norm. And it becomes very much a chapter 34. Yeah. Yes, Darren, I do teach as well as train. Good morning, Wanda. Good morning, Stacy. Hello, Kat. Good morning. Hello, Dolly. Good morning. Well, yeah, Mark, but not for everyone else. Yes, Chris, chapter 34 is notorious. It's so notorious it has a shirt. If you look on the store, there's a chapter 34 shirt. Good morning, Audrey. Hello. So is everyone here yet? Oh, I guess everyone's not here, but I'll do this a few times. So we have a quote competition, and there is a prize for the quote competition. It's this coin. The 5 winners get this, and on the back it has this. So if you win the quote competition, you get one of these. I'm having new ones made up with the new Monty and Strong logo and peaches on the back. It won't have the dragonfly logo. It won't have this on the back. But if you win the competition, if one of your quotes is picked, I'll be sending you one of these. And they're really sturdy. You can hear that. So, yeah. So I hope that clarifies it for you, Carolyn. Yeah. Hello, Lena. Good morning, Trisha. Hello, Julie. Good morning, Diane. Let's see. Hello, Allison. Yes, Cynthia, the inner raven is, I'm sure, very happy about that. Very shiny. Yeah, it's like a challenge coin. Yes, they're awesome. They're solid. I mean, this is a real sturdy coin. It's very similar to this one, except that it's not cut out. This is the PPD coin, which if you don't have one of these, you should get one of these too. But yeah, so this is similar except that it's solid. It doesn't have a cutout. Yeah. Morning, Noah. When is the wedding, Noah? Is it today or has it already happened? Your brother's wedding. Yeah, I'm sure he does have a busy day today. Hello, Isabel. JP, how are you? So when are you doing your BM3? Everybody's asking about it. I'm not in that one, sorry. Welcome, John. Are you recovered yet from Scotland? I hope you are. I know the trip was tough. It was a long trip. Well, back at least. So I was explaining, John, that chapter 34 was your fault in Dragon's Torment. I wrote all the action, and everything that's not action was John Logsdon. So that's the official record. So if you read chapter 34, you'll see it was all John mostly. I think you wrote that chapter by yourself, right? Too tired from BM2. If you don't know what BM2 and BM3 is, you gotta check out our pages so you can. We're not gonna give that one away. No, I'm not the guru. John is the guru. I'm the muscle. John is the guru. So, hello, Mila. So let me give all the shout outs. Shout outs to Zoya, who might be watching, Ray, who might be watching, Ava for the future, because she'll probably watch this later on, and Mila, and any other little ones that are watching. So Mila, yes, Grandma is watching. And I do say hi to your grandma. There's a t-shirt, John, on the store, I think. We had it out for chapter 34. I think it's still up. I don't know. We'll have to check. Yes, I take complete responsibility for the MS9 chapter 34. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Exactly, Chris. Hello, Diana. So the shred is going really well. As I said, we had 900 issues, but they're going down really fast. Hold on, somebody needs approval. Who needs approval? Cat, you're approved. There you go. Have fun. Shred away. Good morning, Laura. How are you? So it's been an interesting process. Now I'll be starting Dragon's Impasse shortly. I wanted to. We had a quick brainstorming session, John and I. Our brainstorming sessions are. We should record the brainstorming sessions, John. And starting a Sheepdog as well, so it'll be both. And then the next Monty and Strong story is the Golem, which is going to be a lot of fun and a lot more Ezra in that one. Of course, Stacy, I'm drinking my coffee Out of a Stein. Monty and Strongstein. Yes. Phase 2 is the same as phase 1, Malcolm. It's just that some people read at supernatural speed, and so they get through the book. I've had times where I've put the book up in the art, and like 2 hours later, an hour later, okay, that book was great. I'm like, I just put it up. So we have some really fast readers, and then we have those of us who are human who read at a normal pace and can take longer. So phase 1 is for those who read really fast, and phase 2 for those who read a little longer, take a little longer to read and can do it without feeling stressed. So phase 1 is done tomorrow, the 10th, and phase 2 will be done next week, the 17th. Audrey, I haven't checked if half 900 is on commas, but I'm pretty sure they were. Yeah, I have a comma allergy. I'm not afraid to admit it. And apparently apostrophe allergy as well. Between want, don't, didn't, none of them get apostrophes. So yeah. I can't give spoilers, John. Just to let you know, chapter 34 is ridiculous in this one. Think about Simon on mushrooms, and that'll give you chapter 34. Morning, Richard. The mug is on our Monty Strong store, M&S. I'll get you one, Isabel. Don't worry. Yeah, I don't drink coffee out of a child's plastic cup. No sippy cups. Didn't you read The Perfect Cup? We don't do sippy cups. Yeah. Yeah, and when I was in college, Cynthia, supernatural reading speed is essential. But after that, I don't do it for the books. I really want to, really get what I'm reading. Good morning, Matthew. Welcome. Will phase 2 have the issues already reported fixed? Phase 2 doesn't change for the art. It changes for me. But by the time I get the book back, a lot of the issues will be fixed, and I won't change the issues that are there. I won't remove them. So what helps me as an author, if you're doing the art, is that you check to see what you're reporting and see if someone else caught it first. So that way you're not doing that and I'm not doing double work, because I check every single note. So if I say 900, I look at all 900. I once had on one of the Monty Strong books, I had like 1,500. Every single one I check, every single one. So if you're shredding, take a moment to look at what you're going to post, and usually someone might have caught it. If not, then awesome. But if so, then you can save yourself time. But I look at all of them. Yeah, Malcolm, I write pretty fast. I just can't write. It depends on what I'm writing. Some Monty Strong I write really fast. Other stories, semi-fast. But Monty Strong is fast. But I was explaining this to my wife the other day. When I'm writing Monty Strong, I have to kind of leave room for like those chapter 34 moments where it's not pre-scripted, it's not premeditated. I'm not really thinking about what is Simon going to say. These things just come out, and then I'll add them in. So most of chapter 34 is ad-libbed. The context was, how would Simon sound if he was in this state? And so then I started typing. And so I have to leave that kind of open. I can't just focus on speed. I have to write. It's my process. I'll write. Sometimes I'll write slow. It's not a steady, quick pace. It'll go up and then slow down, up and then slow down. So yeah. Yeah, it was pretty fun, Audrey. Writing that chapter was a lot of fun. This is true, Stacy. This is very true. Hello, Rhiannon, and host joined. Tracy Musan. Yes. Oh, subjective to the new art. Man, what am I explaining, Chris? Because I'll explain it. If there are books on grammar and punctuation, I've never saw them. I never heard of them, and I'm not going to. Good morning, Sabrina. Welcome. And by the power of, I'm not giving away the rest of that one because that one was funny. Yeah. No, the best one, and this is a tease. I'm sorry, is the one that Anne picked up on when Simon is speaking to Karma and he gives her a title. But I'm not gonna give that away. You're gonna have to read it. Tea is just as welcome, Joy. I have a preference for coffee for my caffeine, but tea is awesome too. Thank you, Joy. Yes. Anytime TK makes an appearance in any of the books, she kind of steals the show. Same thing with LD. And if they're ever together, LD and TK, they're very much like their real life counterparts. So anytime LD and TK or LD or TK are in a book, they steal that scene. The only character that kind of overshadows them or compares to them is Dex. When Uncle Dex is in the book, he's ridiculously awesome. So yeah. I have a copy of Strunk and White, and I've read it several times. I don't think it took. Oh yeah, so Chris is making a good point. I have veto power in your notes, so sometimes you'll make a point or you'll point something out, and yes, I look at every single note, but sometimes it's regarding the way a character sounds, and so I have to make a executive decision whether to change it or to leave it as is. Please don't take it personally. If you see something that you commented on and it hasn't been changed, I had to make a choice there. And sometimes it's because the character has to sound a certain way when it comes to the actual dialogue. So I won't always make the changes that you suggest. I still appreciate the fact that you read the book and suggested that. It's just that I have to stay true to the voices of the characters. And so I appreciate your shredding, but I can't change the voice of the character. So sometimes you'll say, Simon should say it this way, and I'll go, no, Simon would never say it that way, or Monty wouldn't say it that way, or another character wouldn't say it that way. So I have to keep it the way as is. So please don't get offended. It has nothing to do with your shredding ability. It's that I have to make a call. Otherwise, I'll make some changes. Thank you, John. Thank you for visiting. You are just as much of a beast as I am. Surprised you made time to get over here. You're like in 10 different projects. Is there a book story about the 10? Yes, I cannot say right now, but yes, there's a book story. It's a series called The Clandestine Adventures of the 10. So yes, there is one coming. Oh, TK's new nickname. Yeah, TK's new nickname. I think it's gonna be short-lived. If Simon tries to use it, I think he's gonna get blasted. Let's see. When I was starting out writing, did you feel like you were constantly trying to find new ways to put your work in front of people? When I started out writing, all I focused on was writing. It wasn't until about I want to say book 4, book 5, that my then editor, Lorelei, said, you need to speak to my husband, John. And then I just listened, but he and I started working on the marketing aspect of it. But by then, I was looking at Mark Dawson's course and a few other courses. I was already in them, and I was already enrolled. But he was the one who said, okay, now you got to start working on these ads and getting your book in front of people. So it wasn't about till book 4 that I started doing that. No problem, because anything else I need to explain, let me know, because I take it for granted that people know about the art. And always, if you're a shredder, read the pin post that Denise wrote. It's a great post. We may have to make some addendums to it, but it's an awesome post. So if you ever get a chance, read that pin post, because it really does help you, and it helps me. Because writing is one velocity, but when I'm editing, when I'm going through the notes, it's a lot slower. I have to actually, because I'm reading the book, I'm reading your note, I'm seeing if it makes sense. So each note takes time. So if we could save time on that, that'd be great. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she will smack Simon silly if he calls her what he called her in chapter 34. Yeah. I mean, yeah, she would. Maybe she'd just glare at him and then smack him silly. Yeah, Mark. Darren, the accepted wisdom is that you have 3 books out first before you start really thinking about marketing. I didn't do that. I published the book, the first book, without editing and designing my own cover, The Spiritual Warriors, and made nothing. It was horrible in terms of that because it wasn't edited first, and the cover was my own cover. So I thought it was a great cover because I'm a graphic designer by trade and study, but it didn't convey what it needed to convey, and so it didn't sell. And I learned later on what kind of covers do sell and what is a cover for a genre. So that took some learning. It's a kind of a steep curve. Welcome, Jennifer. This is true. If you're using reader links in the help tool, if you click on help, it has videos to help you. So please take the time to watch the videos, to look at them. And it really does. John is a fantastic. I used to do all my editing, and then I'd listen to some videos that John had about how, because I wasn't using a Mac at the time, how to get my Word doc to Mac and then to Scrivener and all this. I was just watching John's videos to do that. So it was like having John annoying me all the time. So yeah, but the videos, he explains things really well. He's a natural teacher when it comes to things like that. Walks through the steps and explains them to you. For those of you who are late or who have come in, I don't want to say late because if you make it here, it's awesome. Just to recap that those of you that are in the quote competition that's being judged by the mods, not by me. I can't judge that because I think they're all awesome. Those who win, the 5, will get this coin with peaches on one side and the Vitruvian dragonfly on the other side. So that's what you get if you win the quote competition. That will be determined by the mods, the pack. So yeah. Yeah, Chris, I'm scrolling up to see some of the comments. It is a judgment call. It has to be because it has to stay, the note, whatever the suggestion is, has to stay within the context, the larger context of the book and then the series. It's like I remember once I had Monty eating meat or something, but I had established in 2 Million Butterflies that he was a vegetarian. And I still remember to this day, Cassandra was like, Monty can't eat meat. You said he was a vegetarian. And that was, on my end, that was an oversight. So, like I said, I read every note because she said that and it immediately clicked. It's like, oh, that's right. He doesn't eat meat. He's a vegetarian. So, okay. And I had to modify that. Yeah, John has awesome videos. So if you need to learn about reader links and marketing and stuff like that, he has plenty of videos. Yeah. Fashionably delayed. I like that, Cynthia. I'm going to use that somewhere. How many tankers of coffee a day do you get through? 1. It's Death Wish. If I'm writing and the deadline is looming, 2, maybe 3 in the whole day though. But I try to aim for 1 because this stuff is strong. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to have jitters at night. But 1 is usually good enough. 1 is good, yeah. 1 of Death Wish. If I'm drinking regular coffee, for me, it doesn't really do anything. And I've had Starbucks coffee after I started Death Wish, and it tastes like candy. So it's too sweet, too much sugar. I don't really put much sugar in Death Wish, and it stays really bitter even with sugar. Yeah, Monty can't eat meat. He won't. It's very much like it's a monastic kind of thing for the mages. They don't eat meat. It won't work. Oh God, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. How are things wherever you are? I know you moved to a different part of the world, so it's good to see you. And welcome. Yeah, Monty won't eat meat, period. But we have to go back to Piero's. We haven't been there in a while, and we have to go see how he's doing. Actually, we haven't seen Piero since, I want to say, Blood is Thicker or Silver Cloud's Dirty Sky. So I think he's due. It's just that I like Ezra's place so much more because it reminds me of Katz's Deli in Manhattan. And Ezra is a great, great character. So, yeah. Right, yeah. No, Peaches wouldn't do anything to Monty because Peaches really likes Monty. And the angry man makes meat for him. So but he would definitely stare. You know how dogs stare when you're eating something? You can have them track you as you do this, and they go like this. Something like that, for sure. Yeah, triple shot of espresso doesn't even do anything for me at Starbucks, Chris. I don't know what it is. I think my system's so used to Death Wish. There's a lot of milligrams of caffeine in that thing. I think it's 400 to 600, and the espresso is like water. It doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's for me. It's like drinking decaf, I guess. That going to Starbucks or going to these places, because I'm so used to the Death Wish. But the great thing is that if I don't drink it, I still don't get headaches, so that's good. So I could not drink it one day and be fine. But I drink it because I enjoy the taste, and it does work. I don't recommend it if you have a heart condition because it's strong stuff, for sure. I have too many series to keep track of in real time. I have a lot of series. I was discussing this with my wife too. It's just the way I am. I write a lot of series, and I'm thinking of doing something new with Sepia Blue, maybe. So we'll see how that works out. Welcome, Trisha. But I do have a lot of series, and it's just the way my brain is. It's just, there'll always be a Monty and Strong story out there because that's the engine to everything. And then I get offshoots and tangents from that. But like Sheepdog is a completely new, Sheepdog is venturing into a whole different area for me. Used to love reading the thrillers. I'm a huge Lee Child fan, Barry Eisler. I've even read some of Mark Dawson stuff. I'm a huge thriller fan. I love thrillers. Robert Ludlum, you know, but Eric Van Loosbara, which is a little bit more martial arts. But I had never written it, so now I'm writing it, and it's like when I started writing sci-fi. I have to really kind of get into that headspace and think of a really great story, great characters, and then use my resources in the mob so that the military super tech stuff is kind of accurate. And I'll write a story. It won't be a full novel. It won't be 50K. I think it'll be closer to 30K. So we'll see. It's a test. It's just testing it out. But that one is ongoing. Sheepdog can be ongoing episodes and episodes because there are always threats and things that they can deal with. Yeah. Yeah, Sepia Blue will get finished. That's a promise. Take care, Chris. Definitely, yes. Make sure Reader Links is awesome. Yes. Hello, Davina. Welcome. For those of you that do not know, Davina is the leader of the Comma Collective. She is the one that catches all the commas. And I'm very appreciative of her eagle eye. So she employs the towel of the comma. For Christmas, Davina, I'm going to send you one huge comma. Maybe made out of chocolate. How's that? A huge comma, chocolate comma. Are we getting more Brew and Chew? Yes. Brew and Chew, the Brew and Chew crew is a lot of fun to write. It's slated right now for 3. So the first one was Hellhound Blues, I think it was. Yeah, Hellhound Blues. Then the next one is Brew and Chew, and the one after that is called The Cold Girl. And so if you read the Brew and Chew, you'll know who the Cold Girl is. And then I'm gonna have CC make more appearances in Monty and Strong in the next book in the column. Yeah. I never run out of ideas, Darren. Never. What was happening was when I wrote The Warriors of the Way, actually what I did, even from the beginning, I wrote the first book of The Warriors of the Way, the first book of Blur, which is a trilogy that I haven't gotten back to. That's the John Kane novels, and the first book of Sepia Blue. Then I went back and wrote the rest of Warriors of the Way and Sepia Blue. And in the middle of Sepia Blue, I got the idea for Tomb Yards and Butterflies for Monty and Strong, and then kind of went in that direction. But I still have to go back and finish Sepia Blue, Blur, Dream of Ashes. There are a few that are out there. So yes. Okay, Isabel, see you later. Get some work done. So yeah, I don't really run out of ideas. The problem with me is you get a lot of ideas and you don't want to chase every single one because it's time consuming. You want to make sure that you get the ones that are really worthwhile. And that's why you'll see a lot of firsts in a series out there. And it's almost like me just testing out a story and to see if it's worth pursuing as a series. If it's not, and if it doesn't get a lot of interest, or if the readers go, it was okay, it wasn't, I don't really, then I don't pursue it. It'll be a one-off. But if I hear a lot of interest, then it's a matter of, okay, put it in the schedule and make sure I finish it. Because I'll do at least a trilogy. Because pentologies are rough to write, and I tried to stay away from them, but Monty Strong is up to book 9 now. So it's beyond the pentology. Yes, Wanda, Sepia Blue will get much needed attention, for sure. So, but you can get ideas from anywhere, everywhere. Like for a sheepdog, the idea that I had was it's basically Mission Impossible meets James Bond. So there's like a Mission Impossible team, and the lead, the protagonist, which is Gideon Shepard, is very much like a James Bond, except that he needs his team around him. But there's no magic. It's just, well, have fun, Noah, especially in the Apple Store. Ooh, that sounds really great, Wanda. Enjoy your massage. Have a great day. No, Darren, I don't really have passion projects. If it's something, good luck, Davina. If it's something that I really enjoy but didn't get a response, usually what I write is something I like to read. So if I didn't get a response, I have to check and see why that is. But I won't continue with it because I won't write something that isn't something I enjoy. And if I don't enjoy it, my readers won't enjoy it. And if I'm not enjoying writing it, I think, and this is my perception, I don't know if it's every author's perception, if I'm not having fun writing it, it translates on a deep level to the actual writing, and the readers pick up on that. They'll pick up that was forced, or they'll pick up, I can tell you didn't really like this story, whatever the case may be. So if I'm not having fun and I'm not enjoying it, I won't continue writing it, because I think it's really important to have the readers enjoy what you're writing. As much as as a reader, I enjoy writing. Like I was telling someone the other day, when I have to do notes after you guys shred, when I'm reading the story, I have to be careful that I don't get caught up in the story, because I write as a reader. So I want to write a story that I want to read. And I'll be doing the notes and I'll be really diligent about it. And then all of a sudden I'll get stuck in the story and reading the story. And I'm like just there, wow, that's really great. Like if I didn't write it and I'm really enjoying it. Then I go, oh, I got to go back now and back 20, 30 notes, because I just get stuck. I get caught up in the story. So yeah. So I try not to pursue anything that I haven't, that I'm not enjoying. Good morning, Sharon. Welcome. Or good afternoon. Yeah, you can see it. For me, personally, as a reader, I can tell when an author is really enjoying what they're writing, or when they're kind of burnt out and they're tired of writing that series. You can tell, because you can tell in the writing, you can tell in the characters, you can tell in the story and the interactions in the story. It comes across. It may not be very overt, maybe subtle, but you can definitely pick up on it. And I'm really enjoying Monty and Strong. So I'm thinking maybe 20 books at this point, so we'll see. Almost halfway there, put it that way. I don't foresee ever getting tired of Monty and Strong. There's just so much that happens in Monty and Strong. Oh, get someone else to edit chapter 4. Chapter 34 is yeah, it's something special. I don't know who's gonna edit that one, because when I get to chapter 34, I just want to read it. I already read it like 3 times and I wrote it. So, and I know John, Noah, and Ben are the same way, Malcolm. Yeah, I know they have fun writing. I know John and I, because when we read the Badlands books, you guys, it's ridiculous. We really don't get any work done. It's just basically banter and laughing. And somewhere in there, some writing will be done. But yeah, yeah, you'll see. And Davina's very right. If you start seeing a real absence of commas and apostrophes, it's because I'm writing really fast, and you can see me getting caught up in a scene or something that's happening. And any idea of comma, apostrophes, it just flies out the window because I'm writing so quickly. And so then things slow down. Sometimes I'll try to go back, but it's hard because I'm writing quickly. Yeah. How do I decide when a series is done? Hi, Wendy. Welcome. I really don't decide. The story is kind of, it's like when a book is done, I aim for 50,000, but sometimes the story ends at 48, or sometimes it ends at 52. And so I try to have closure in an arc of a series. But sometimes the series is very open. Like Monty and Strong is an open series. I can't see it having that kind of closure. It's like this is the last book. I don't see that. So it's hard to determine. I think the story kind of tells you when it's done. Like you can see, does this character have any more to do or say? And if not, then it's done. And sometimes the story itself is just, this is it. We don't need to. We spend some time with the character and then we can step out. Like in the Spiritual Warriors, Book 5 was Book 5 and that was it. The characters themselves can have other stories like Silk, but the actual story of Dante and Major and everyone is pretty much done, So for me, there was no need to continue after Book 5. Whereas in Mountain Strong, there's something always happening with them. So it continues. Yes, emotion transference. Well, I think authors are all mages. Anyone who creates is a magic, because you're creating something out of nothing. So an artist who has a blank canvas and then creates a work of art, that's magical because it was nothing and they created something. Same thing for a singer. I mean, you take music, it's the same notes, but you put it in different order, different sequence, and you have different pieces of work. So it's artistic magic. So it's really anyone who is a creative, and we're all creative in some way, has magic, creates magic, and it's amazing. And it's amazing to see. Hello, Elizabeth. Yes, Malcolm, there's no shortage of treasures to destroy in Monty and Strong. And in this city, are you kidding? In New York City, there's so much that needs to be renovated. I want to say renovated, but we know what that means. But renovated, yes. Artists are magical, Stacy. Yes, they take ideas, concepts, what we see as nothing, right? But it really is something. It's a thought. It's an idea, and they give it shape or form. And it's across the board, whether it's dance, music, art, literature, writing, building, there's so many ways that creativity expresses itself. And it is magical. Yeah. You've noticed that when you think your characters and start having many adventures, yeah, I don't think of it as a series. I just think of it as stories. So these are the stories. You're just joining them in the story. Yeah. And Monty and Strong there's always something for them to do. And it's interesting because the stories were created as a detective series. And so there's always going to be something for them to do. It's just that the stakes get high, or they get involved in something that's a little bit over their heads, and they end up meeting up with some interesting characters that could smush them. Hello, Laurie. Welcome. Yes, Sharon, there's always something to detect, always. And they'll take the cases other people won't. So in that regard, that's kind of an homage to Jim Butcher and Dresden, because when you have a certain case, you need a wizard, right? And so Jim created Dresden to take the cases no one else would take, or that no one else could take. He's the one that does that. Exactly. There are police when you find crime, and when you find Monty Strong, you will find massive property damage. They can't help it. There are always extenuating circumstances. The fun part is that, Simon gets blamed for it. But in this book, well, there's a lot of destruction, but a lot of it Simon contributes. If I can say that without spoiling it too much. Yeah. Do I find Monty and Strong create themselves? What I do with Monty and Strong, those books, the stories really, I don't know if they create themselves, but in a sense, the dialogue that they have is so natural. Like I can actually hear when they speak in my head. I can see, like I know what Monty would say or how he would say something and how Simon would respond or say something. And that's very natural. That the voices are very clear to me. Even with Peaches, the way Simon interacts with Peaches is very clear. And the fact that he's completely harassed by the way Frank is influencing Peaches. So yeah, I could say that. I wouldn't say they create themselves, but I would say that their dialogue, like if I could put them in any scene or any situation, I know exactly what they would say and how they would say it. So it's very natural for me to hear how they speak, which makes writing them really fun. It's always Monty's fault. Welcome back, Isabel. Always. It's always Monty's fault. But that what happens is that Simon gets blamed. Guilt by association. So yeah, as a writer or as an author, and I know some of you are thinking about it or are authors, you want to find your voice. That's the most important thing. I can't tell you how to do that except for write. A lot of writing. Keep writing. Write. It took me, I want to say, about 11 books before I got the idea for Monty and Strong. 11 books. 11 stories, because there were some short stories in there too. But 11. And then that's when I wrote 2 Millions in Butterflies. Brandon Sanderson commented, he made a comment on that too. He said like it takes about 11 to 13 books before you kind of find your groove, your stride as an author. And that's about right, 10, 11. Then you have outliers who do it in the first book. It appears to be their first book, but you don't know what they wrote up to that first book. So they might have written a few books prior to that first book really, getting out there. So, but what it does take is a lot of writing to get your voice. In the beginning, you sound like a lot of other people, and then you start distilling it to the way you would write. Do I ever take breaks from physical writing and just listen to them? Yeah, I do it all the time. I have my phone, and I'll put them in scenes. Like they go to the laundry, and I'll write a text, and the way they would say how that situation would end up, or they go out, to do something mundane, like walk Peaches, and how that would be. A lot of the times, those conversations end up in the story. But usually, I'll do that. Hello, Leslie. And sometimes, as I'm writing a book, like I know there's a deadline. I know I've got to get the book done by X date. And there are days, and I'll write for 5 days, nonstop. And then I'll have to take a day off from writing, kind of just to let the story simmer. Or I'll be in a scene, and I'll say, okay, how do I get them out of this scene? Like, what's the next thing? Because I have to make it work. But I don't have the answer in that moment. And I kind of have to let it sit for a day or like half a day. And then the answer will come to, oh, okay, this is how that works. This is how they can progress to the next scene. So it's not fits and starts. It's more create, let it simmer, let it settle, and then continue. It's like baking a cake. Put the cake in, you put it in the oven, and you got to let it bake. You can't take it out too soon. Same thing like with writing. Sometimes I'll be writing every day, and then have one day where it's like I'll write, but not as much because I'm still feeling out part of the story. Because I always start the story knowing the ending. It's a matter of getting from point A to point B is the fun part. A lot of it is outlined, but a lot of it is kind of sketched in. And so, like chapter 34 was completely created on the spot. I just knew that he had to experience something out of the ordinary, under the influence of something. And so this was the expression of it. But it was created as I was writing it. It's like that. Oh, does my wife read my books, and which one is her favorite? I'd have to ask her. She reads them all. She does read them all. I don't know if she has a favorite, but she reads them all. What's my motivation to write? I have to write. It's part of who I am. I've always told stories, as you know. So this is just another expression of me telling a story. But I've always wanted to write. I've always wanted to get that. So my motivation is to leave great stories behind, if possible. You know, something that the kids could look at years from now after I'm gone and go, wow, Dad was a great writer, or he really wrote some awesome stories. Like, and as I've shared before, my motivation is to emulate Sir Terry Pratchett and that kind of flawless prose, like those dead drunk assassins and the men behind them wanted to add the significant comma, which is just so. I mean, his whole and all his books are filled with sentences like that or ideas like that, where you read it and then you go back and go, wow, that was just amazing. You don't get it in the first moment, but it stays with you. And I have parts of his books still in my head that just come up at the strangest moments. And anything regarding death is awesome with Terry Pratchett, with Sir Terry. So, have I ever considered writing a memoir? Wow, I don't know if my life is interesting enough to write a memoir. Maybe as I get older, I think I have to live a bit more life to write a memoir. So maybe as I get a little older, maybe another 10 years, I'll write the memoir. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, I think I have to do a few more interesting things before I can write a memoir. Plus, names will have to be changed to protect the guilty. So I'll have to be careful with a memoir while I'm still alive. Let's see, an MS role-playing game. I like role-playing games. I grew up on D&D. It's just someone else is gonna have to create it, and I can provide creative consulting, but for me to sit down and actually create an M&S role-playing game, it's gonna take too long. But yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. Same way I would think a Netflix series would be a great idea, or an Amazon Prime originals would be a great idea, like Good Omens. But those things take time, and they take knowing the right people. And I'm not quite at that point where I can write a screenplay and say, okay, let me shop this around. So, but if anyone wants to make a movie or a series out of Monty and Strong, that'd be awesome. I'm definitely on board for it. And the same thing with the game. It's just that it's a time commitment. And my goal, what's most important, is the writing. Everything has to flow around the writing. The writing is what's the key. So I have to do that. Have Monty write his memoirs would be I think would be a lot more fun. Welcome, Nick. How are you? Yeah, like maybe a memoirs of Monty or Simon, who's at this point immortal. Hello, Mary. Welcome. And that would be I think that would be a lot more fun. Or even Peaches. Although Peaches' memoirs would be mostly meat. You know, on this day I had this kind of meat, and on that day the angry man made me meat, and then we fought these people, and then I had meat. You know, so Peaches would be a very kind of narrow memoir. So yeah, very meat-centered. Robert, I had to shave it. It was just getting out of control and itchy. So I was like, oh, it's got to go. And so I got rid of it, and now I'm very smooth. But I'm going to let it grow again for the winter. It's my winter face. I'll let it grow. My wife says, oh, I can see your smile now. So it's a trade-off. I don't mind being grizzly. It's good. Who do I see playing Monty and Simon? Wow. We've done those casting questions before. I always think Ryan Reynolds would be a great Simon. That's just my personal opinion. Monty's tough. That'd be tough, Monty. I'd have to give that some thought. But yeah, Monty would be a tough one. Yeah, let's see. A biography of the bad guys. You have to have interesting bad guys. I mean, your antagonist should always be interesting, or else your readers aren't going to really enjoy reading about boring bad guys. And remember, there are really no bad guys. Everyone is the hero of their story, even the antagonists or the villains. The villains think they're doing something right. Their motivations may be a little skewed, and their method might be unacceptable, but they still think they're doing what's right. It's just that it doesn't agree with the sensibilities of whoever your good guys are. Yeah, he would be a good Monty for sure, Malcolm. Again, I think it'd be a tough call, but I think but because so many people see him as Loki, so Tom Hiddleston would be a good Monty, but everyone would still he's almost typecast as Loki, and I think he has a Netflix show coming up as Loki or some Marvel show. I'm not that familiar with the movies of Harry Potter, Darren, so I don't know who plays Draco Malfoy's dad, so I can't say yes or no. But there are a few great actors out there. Who could be candidates for the Monty role. And you just need a good actor. You need someone who can really do Simon, the snark of Simon, really well. Which to date, I think is Ryan Reynolds is the best candidate for that. Is my opinion. Yeah. So yeah, Stacey. I think he's getting a show. It's called Loki. So I'm sure, because if you think about the Avengers Endgame, he got his hands on the Tesseract and disappeared in the past. So maybe he changed his future and therefore didn't die by Thanos in that time stream. Hello, Trish. Welcome. Yes, a young Clint Eastwood for Simon, but I don't think Clint would do the snark well. That's the thing. Simon has real attitude, and he really challenges authority. He doesn't really care that the person in front of him can destroy him in the blink of an eye with minimal expenditure of energy. It doesn't faze Simon. And so you need someone who can pull that off. Who isn't fazed by phenomenal cosmic power. That's why I would say Ryan Reynolds would be good for that. Because he can be in that he's done that kind of scene, like with Deadpool. You know, he's standing in front of people who can crush him, and he's like, so what? You know? But at this point, I'm open to whoever wants to play him. So, I don't know about Chris. I don't think he does Simon that well, Sharon. In my head. Again, it's my opinion. That's not saying it's yes or no, it's right or wrong. How did I come up with the characters? Oof, that's a tough one. Simon and Monty kind of came pretty formed. I wanted a detective. I wanted someone American and someone British. And the detective had a certain kind of attitude. He was very American, and the British had to be a mage. And so that was the framework. Peaches came along a little later because I have a great fondness for Mouse and Oberon, if you ever read Atticus, the Iron Druid. But I didn't want Peaches to be like them, so I wanted him to be unique. And that's why I made him a hellhound. So Peaches came later because I wanted the detective to have a sidekick, kind of like an animal sidekick, which very much like Dresden with Mouse and Atticus with Oberon. But I also wanted him to have a partner who he could kind of, get into situations with. And so that Monty came in. So if you really know God is Safe, you can see how they met. Which, just to let you know, Shiva's coming back at some point. Welcome, Timothy. How are you? Yes, Audrey, Deadpool's a lot of fun. Not for the kids, but Deadpool's a lot of fun. Both the movies. I enjoyed both movies. And when I write, it's a maximum effort. For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's the same situation, I think, Stacy, with the typecasting, which is why Hugh Jackman stopped doing stopped doing Wolverine, because he had been doing him for 17 years. And even though he had done other projects in the midst of that, he was always seen as Wolverine. So it's like casting Tom Hiddleston as Monty. You're gonna see he's a great, phenomenal actor, but a part of you is always gonna see him as Loki. With Hugh Jackman, I don't think whatever he does after Wolverine now, some core group is still gonna see him as Wolverine, and that's the problem with being type. You get typecast. It's like Chris Evans and Captain America. He's doing this other movie, some Netflix movie, but you see him and you think Captain America. It's just the nature of what happens when you get a great role and you play it well. You can get locked into it. I mean, does anyone see Adam West as anything but Batman? He was a very accomplished actor. The moment he had the role of Batman, for the rest of his life, Adam West was associated with the 60s, 70s campy Batman. And he was a great actor with a large body of work. People still saw him as Batman. Yes, Audrey, I agree. They go straight through the moment, straight through to the truth for sure. Yeah, again, Patrick Stewart, Picard. I see Patrick Stewart, I think Picard. I don't think any other character but Picard. And the same thing with Ian. What's his name? His last name Ian. Oof. Ian McKellen. I see him as Magneto, and he's been in a lot of things. But yeah, and Snowpiercer. I didn't get to see Snowpiercer, but you know, I can't see Chris Evans as anything but Captain America right now. And he was Johnny Torch, Johnny Blaze, the Torch. Bye, Laura. It was great having you here. Same way Chris Hemsworth, yeah, because he just did Men in Black International. I don't see him as anything but Thor, Malcolm. Same way. For Dex, I see Ian McShane as Dex. I think he'd be a great Dex. Hello, Erla. Welcome. Right, Ian McKellen is Gandalf. Exactly. Yeah, you see Ian McKellen and you think Gandalf more than Magneto because it was such a pivotal role. And that you shall not pass. Come on, that's all Ian McKellen. You can just see him all the time. Yes, Ian McShane as Dex is like perfect. He has the right voice for it. When he's in the John Wick movies as the owner of the Continental, it's like a perfect Dex. And Ian McShane has a perfect voice, frame, demeanor to play a great Dex. Bye, Stacy. Hope that leak gets fixed. Welcome back, then, Mark. It wasn't that you were kicked. We took a vote and we all kicked you out. Sorry, Mark. Some things we need to discuss that you can't be privy to. Yes, in American Gods as Odin. I haven't seen it, but I hear he's great as Odin. Oh yes, that was a long time ago. Lovejoy. Yeah, I didn't see that either. So, but it's like Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren is great in everything that she does, which is why I think she'd be a great Nana. But a lot of people see Nana and they think a shorter, rounder person, and I see Nana as a Helen Mirren type, who is just a complete badass, because that's how Helen Mirren portrays her characters. This is true, Mark. If you ever get the chance to see Red, the movie Red with Helen Mirren in it, that's the kind of character I think of as Nana. So she's retired, but she's still really dangerous. And that's how she comes across in pretty much in every role that she's in. The only other person I think that could play a great Nana would be Judi Dench, because she kind of has that whole presence, like the way when she was M in Bond. So yeah. The same thing. Yeah, you can't see Robert Downey Jones now as anyone but Tony Stark. Red is fantastic. Red and Red 2, they're both good. Yeah, Dame Judi Dench, because I think she has been christened. Excellent actor. Excellent. She's fantastic at everything that she does. And I can see her as Nana. I could see her as an awesome Nana. So between her and Helen Mirren, either one would be great. Well, but Robert Downey Jr. did a great Sherlock Holmes. Both the movies were fantastic, except that once he did Iron Man, everything else that he did, and I'm guessing will do, will be overshadowed by his role as Iron Man, as Tony Stark, because he embodied that character. And so I don't know what else he can do at this point. Yes, she was. But I didn't see her in there. I don't remember her in there, but I hear she was, Audrey. And I have really vague memories of Caligula. I remember, who else is Malcolm McDowell was in that, if I'm not mistaken, and Clockwork Orange. But I have vague memories of Caligula because it was so long ago. I remember seeing it, I just don't remember it anymore because it was a long time ago. But Helen's been acting for a long time. Yeah, he does, Malcolm. You should tell him that so that he understands he can be a double for Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, Benedict coming back is Sherlock at this point. And Doctor Strange. He's typecast, pretty much. He's either Sherlock Holmes in the BBC series, which is fantastic if you haven't seen it, or he's Doctor Strange in Marvel. So he's pretty typecast. But he's played a lot of good actors. He's played Alan Turing. He's played a lot of good actors. Hello, Benna. Welcome. Yes, Sharon. I see him as Sherlock, too. He plays an excellent Sherlock. Benedict Cumberbatch. So, along with his co-actor, which the name escapes me now, plays an excellent Watson. Welcome, John. Do I think my children will take up writing? I think they will. I think it's something that they kind of have already in them. I think they will. They're very creative, so I think I'm not going to force it on them because I think writing is, you have to really want to do it. There are moments where it's tough, and it's anyone who tells you writing is easy hasn't tried writing a book. You can write certain things, but when you get to writing a book or a short story and you have to make a cohesive story, it starts getting hard. But if they want to really pursue it, I will help them as much as I can, for sure. Yeah. I hope they do. I hope I motivate them, whether it's writing or something else. I hope I motivate them to be creative. He was good as a Khan, Cynthia. I enjoyed him. I couldn't stop seeing him as Sherlock. And that Star Trek was a great movie. Yes, that Sherlock series is excellent. Yes, Martin Freeman, he's a perfect foil for Benedict. Okay, Darren, take care. Have fun at refereeing. Yeah, Martin Freeman is a fantastic foil because he was a great Watson. But Martin Freeman hasn't been typecast as a Watson. I don't know why. I don't really see him as Watson all the time. Whereas Benedict, anything that he does, a part of me always sees him as Sherlock. It's interesting. What's the best advice I would give to my kid? Wow, that's a good one, Benna. Is there a context for this, or are we just talking life advice? I like Jude Law, Cynthia. I'm waiting for Benna to give me a context. I like Jude Law, but I don't know if I can see him as a Monty. Let's see. He was good as Watson too, but he wasn't that memorable as a Watson when he was opposite Robert Downey. I don't know. Jude Law doesn't stick in my head as any role. Welcome, Marie. Wow, it's your first time. Fantastic. Where do I get my inspiration? Are they individual thoughts, or do they start with a character? All my stories start with a character. All my stories, if you guys have read them, obviously, but if you read my stories, you'll see that they're all character driven. what happens to a character. It's very rarely that it's plot story driven. They're all character driven. So all my ideas start with a character. What would this character do? And if you look at the stories that I'm writing lately, all of them stem from some part of Monty and Strong's world. So the Night Warden stories come from, they're in the Monty and Strong universe. The Brew and Chew, CC, and Rags come from the Monty and Strong universe. Aftermath, which will come later on, is from the Monty and Strong universe. Division 13, part of Monty and Strong's universe. So the universe is broad and very connected, and what happens in one affects and impacts the other. But it's all character driven. These are all characters in that universe. Is there a genre that I haven't written? I haven't forgotten about you, Benna, and that you would love to do a book into. I'm gonna stay away from westerns because John Logson would just use that for fuel. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different genres out there that I haven't written in, and that I would love to do. I've kind of touched upon all the stuff that I really love. Sci-fi, I love sci-fi. I wrote one story in sci-fi. I'm going to write more. And every story is a mystery. I've always loved mysteries. And so, but every story is a mystery. And so I'm kind of writing what I love to do. But I go into different broad areas, and I'll try them later on. Great question, John. Yes, that's John's Brokeback PPD. You like that, huh, Isabel? Yes, I didn't do that, and I'm not in that one. I was just on the cover. All right, we're a little bit over an hour, so I'm going to wrap this up soon, guys, because I don't want to take, I could stay here a lot longer, but we've got other things to do. Okay, Benna. Let's see. What advice would I give to my kids? Wow. Pursue something you love. Be excellent. Be a good person. Be kind. Have fun. Enjoy life because it goes by really fast. Learn to be in the moment, in the present. Don't chase money. Chase the things you love to do. Money usually comes with that. So many things I would tell them. It just depends, I guess, on the context, what's happening in their life at that moment. But right now, I would just tell them to just have fun and follow what they like to do, what they love to do. Study hard because it does help, but it's not as earth-shattering important as most people think it is. But it's good to be well educated and have a rounded education. It's important in that sense. Yeah, that's what I would tell them. And be good to each other. Like they're siblings, so be good to each other and be good to people. That's really important. Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany would be pretty good, I think. Yeah. Yeah, Malcolm, I don't know. I don't think I want him to be I don't want Gideon Shepherd in that world, because then I still have to address the magic aspect, even though they're not aware of it. So I think I want him to be a nice break from the magic aspect. Yes, more will be coming of the Blackjacks and the Dread Warlock with Daisy Marie. Yeah. Why don't I do 2-hour sessions? I can, but it's a big block for people to take out 2 hours. And 1 hour is usually better, Miss Isabel. Bill or Ted? For what, Malcolm? And I'm going to be partial to Keanu only because of John Wick. So, be excellent. Yes, I like that. Be excellent. We'll use that to close with. Be excellent to each other. I think just be excellent is good. To aspire to be excellent in everything you do. So yes. Yeah, I like that. Be excellent. I think it goes back to Aristotle, though. Excellence is not, something, and then it's just it's a habit. Let's see what's happening with the reader links right now, real quick. See if there's anyone who needs to be approved. Most of you auto-approved on reader links, just so you know. If you're not, I have to approve you, but most of you are auto-approved. Well, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to start wrapping it up because I don't want to keep you guys too long. An hour is a long time, I think. Although, you know, as a writer, we can spend all day talking. But you guys have things to do. And I don't know. I know it's 12 where I am, but I know it's late for some people. Somewhere, it's late. Thank you for coming, Audrey. You're very welcome, Marie. Yes, I want you all to have an awesome weekend. It's Friday. If you're shredding, keep shredding. And the shred closes tomorrow at the phase 1 part of the shred closes tomorrow at noon. And basically what I'm doing is this is a pause. So I'm going to close it at noon for the phase 1. A shred, get rid of all the notes, get them all done. Then it starts again on Monday for phase 2. Take care, Nick. Don't burn the pizza. Go feed the kids. Thank you, Malcolm. I will strive to always be excellent. Yeah, I know you can do an extra hour, Isabel, for sure. I block out a large portion of the morning for these Mob TV live events because sometimes they go a little long. Sometimes people have questions, and you know, it's kind of agenda-less in the sense that it's designed for us to just spend some time together, talk, hang out, have some coffee, talk about the books, talk about life. So it's not meant to be like it's only about this. We can pretty much discuss anything. Yeah, it'd be great if you did. I don't know. You're gonna be able to do that and work? I don't know. Will your office let you do that at work? This is true because right now what's happening is MNS9 is being edited, Sheepdog has begun, Dragon's Impasse is being started, and then MNS10 gets written. So yes, you don't want to see my ugly face. I don't know, Mark. That sounds like it might be interesting to see you swear at shoes. I said you don't want to see my glorious face, Isabel. If you see me looking like that, it's because I'm looking at a schedule where all the books are laid out in terms of timelines. So it's possible if we're in August, October, November. Yeah, we can. It's very likely that we'll have MNS10 before Christmas. It's very likely. Oh, good luck with that, Marie. Ugh. So our next Mob Live TV will be the 23rd, which is 2 Fridays from now. I try to do 2 a month. So that seems like it's a good amount. You should, Mark. It'd be interesting. At the very least, you'll get immediate feedback whether you should do one more after that, because people will say, nope, thank you. So you'll know right away if it's something you should continue doing. I think it's good, and I've said it before, if I was able to speak to the authors that I was reading when I was younger, that would be so awesome. And so I think the onset and the advent of technology has allowed readers and authors to connect, and that's pretty amazing. If I could do that with them, when I was growing up, I'd lose my mind at that age. So it's pretty amazing that we have this technology that allows us to do this. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. It's 12:15, so it's been an hour and 15. And I've This is as much talking as I'll do for, I think, the whole week. So I want to thank you all for being here. It's always awesome to see you here. Have a fantastic weekend and be excellent.